Why are these 5 1990s rookie cards of Hall of Fame players so cheap? We're going to look at some of their most iconic rookie cards, the values, and some affordable cards that you guys could go pick up today. Now let's jump into it. So we're going to go through the top 5 Hall of Fame basketball players with undervalued rookie cards. These just don't make any sense. Let me know what you think your favorite player is and favorite cards. Player number 5, I'll give you some hints, see if you can figure out who it is before we jump into it. A 15-time All-Star, that's huge. 9 times All-NBA. 12-time All-Defensive, that's another huge stat that differentiates you from anyone else. 4-time total rebound champ. 2003 MVP, so 2008 champion. You can probably start to guess now. Number 21 on the NBA 75th anniversary team, so the top 30 player of all time. And we are talking about KG, Kevin Garnett. This is his Topps rookie card, so the flagship. Some people would say it's his finest. The finest is greening. I think it's an ugly card, debate me on all that you want. I don't think anyone should own the finest. So this is the PSA 10. It's a pop of $7.79. You can see that up in the right-hand corner. This is the sales over the last 2 years. And recently, the last 6 months, you could pick up a copy for $70, $80. There was a couple sales in there right around $50, $55. I own 1 copy of this, and that's all I own. It works out for my run that I have of his. I'm going to recommend 2 cards for each player, and then try to figure out a price point that most anyone can go pick up with the card. But $70 for the PSA 10 for the Topps is just makes sense. If you want to kind of jump up a tier, I think this is his iconic, best looking rookie card. It's the Natural Born Thrillers. Michael Jordan's in this set as well. And at PSA 9, you're going to pay about double what the Topps goes for, about $125 to $175. Most of these are auction prices, so you're going to have to wait for an auction. It's a population of 140 with only 70 higher. PSA 10 would run you about 500. So 2 cards for under $200, 1 for under $100. Jump into the number 4 player. We're going to move up the list, essentially. 14-time all-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA, 2006 MVP, 2011 champ and finals MVP, number 17 on the NBA 75th anniversary team. And a big giveaway for this player is they have over 30,000 career points, which puts them number 6 all time. So a really impressive long career. And we are talking about Dirk. This is his gold medallion. These are cards I selected. Most of them are lower pops. I think it's stuff that's going to hold value long term. And you really don't have anything to sweat about if you locked it away for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years of it holding value. And for the gold medallion, classic card. This is a pop 33. Most people don't realize the gold medallions are much, much rarer than the 97 version. So 98 for the rookies, it was a super short print card. Only 33 of these in a PSA 8. And the last sale was, I think, $75. Yeah, last price was $75. So this has caught on a little bit over the last year. I used to be able to get it for about $60. Some low sales in there, but for a card for under $70, I think it's a great deal. If you want to bump up and get something rare, you can go for the PSA 9, but that's going to be about double the price. Next card on the list, I have no idea why this is being slept on. It's like a Pop 16. It's the SPX Finite, super high-end set. There's a version out of 2500 as well. So these just don't pop up much. You can see the last sales over the last 2 years. You're talking about 15 sales. The last copy to sell for $67 is one that I picked up. So I will tell you if I own the cards. I own the gold medallion. I own the Natural Born Thrillers, and I own 1 Topps of the Garnett. Number 3, 15-time All-Star, 14-time All-NBA, 4-time NBA champ. That's a huge, huge deal right there. 3-time Finals MVP. So this is obviously going to move you pretty far up the chart of best players all time. 1999 league MVP and number 11 on the NBA all team. So this one might be a little harder to figure out, but the 4-time and 3 should be a giveaway. 90's rookie. We're talking Shaq Diesel. This is his Topps Gold. I would recommend staying away from the base Topps card. The print run on it is just redonkulous. Right here, you can see the pop count on the PSA 9 for the gold version, and it's over 3,000. So, card normally with this high a pop, I wouldn't recommend. I own a copy of the PSA 8. I just wanted one card of the Topps Gold in my run. But I think this is a very Topps is considered flagship, so that's a lot of times why I'm going to recommend Topps. I'm not always going to recommend Topps, but for this, the gold version is the way to go. PSA 9. This one's going to have a little harder time finding the floor. It's kind of found the floor over the last year, but it still has some low points in there. So pick your battles of where you want to pick one up at. If you want to pick one up, it's your call. The next card is the Topps Archive. This is one I do own several copies of. Population of 338, so it's 10% the population. So this one I just feel a lot stronger about. And these typically sell for, the last one sold for 80. They do bounce around like 90. Some of them sell for 100. So 80 to 120. If you're patient at an auction, you should be able to pick one up. This came in kind of a set, but it's the gold set, so it's much, much rarer. These are highly condition sensitive. I don't see the population really growing much on this one. And since it is the Topps brand and a gold version, I feel very, very good about this. So you guys will have to let me know if you think I missed any players once I get to the end of this. Number 2, and I'm basically just going how they're ranked on the NBA 75th anniversary team from bottom to top. 18-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 5-time NBA champ. That's huge. There's only one person with, or I guess there's 2 more than that with. And yeah, I guess Hall of Famers. It gets weird with Robert Horry and stuff. But 2 times Finals MVP, 12-time All Defensive. Anybody All Defensive is that many times. It's going to move you up the list, especially if you're able to score. Number 10. So, one above the last player. They were teammates. Kobe. Kobe's Topps is one I would actually stay away from. The print run on it is just crazy. The Topps Chrome, I'm not a fan of. They're all going to go green. I recommend staying away from all Topps Chrome product in 96 and 97. That's my personal opinion. I just don't like greening or hulking where the player actually turns green, if you're not familiar with that. It's like part of an oxidation, something that happens with the printing process. But this is one I recommend. It's the Ultra. Kobe has is a high print run year. 96 was. 92 was as well. So you have to be much more picky about where you're going to put your dollars in your collecting budget. But this one is one I feel strongly about. The PSA 9. Someone got a deal at $100. I would have picked it up for $100 if I would have seen that auction. Last one, it's gotten as high as $200 recently in the last year. I own 2 copies of this, and I own several in the PSA 8. It's a pop 272, which is pretty low. The population on the 8 is kind of doubles. And the 8, I just missed out on the auction. I think one sold for 54 yesterday or the day before. My bid was 53. So, and 100 for the PSA 9, 100 to 110 I'm a buyer, and then on the 8s in the $50 to $60 range I'm a buyer. Card number 2 that I would recommend is Skybox Rookie Preview. This is an all foil card. Super prone to chipping. I wouldn't recommend buying a raw card of this and trying to grade it. I've just seen them and they're highly condition sensitive. And population 140. You can see these don't sell that often. They don't come up to auction really that often. So a value of last sold was 132. I think that was a good price. If you can get it between 100 and 150, I'm kind of a buyer in that range. Just depending on my hobby budget for that week or month and what other cards I'm going after. Can't always get all the cards that you want, especially if they're duplicates. But this is a card that I believe in. If you want something cheaper, just go down to PSA 7, and if you're patient, you should be able to get one of those for $70. So we're gonna jump in number 1 on the list. Any guesses? This is all 90s players. 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 5-time NBA champ, 3 times Finals MVP, 15 times All-Defensive Team. That is just bonkers. And number 8 on the NBA 75th anniversary team. And we are talking about Mr. Fundamentals, Tim Duncan. 97 gold medallion. I mentioned it with the Dirk. 97 is not as rare on the gold medallions. 98, those are short printed for the rookies. The rookies were just harder to pull in 98, but in 97, they were just as easy as every other player to pull. So I am recommending a higher grade on the Duncan, and we'll jump into that card. You can see the population on this, 119. The gold medallions are just iconic cards of the 90s. So you just have to watch the years and the print runs on them. But I feel pretty good on a PSA 9. If you want a cheap, affordable Duncan for under $50, the PSA 8s auction regularly for $30 to $40. So after shipping and tax, you're in it for $40-$50. High pop, so it's going to take much longer for those values to move, but I think a very secure long term. It's more like the collector card. The investor card would be the PSA 9, I guess. But I feel great about this card. I own, I think, 2 copies. I own at least 1, but I might own 2. High voltage. This is a sneaky one. Pop 28, PSA 8. They have the high voltage 500 version, which it's kind of like a cracked ice version, but a PSA 8 of that, you're talking over $2,000. So we're doing affordable rookies. I think this is a sleeper card, probably the biggest sleeper card on the list. People are catching on. 9s never come up. I own 3 8s. That's because I graded 2 and I bought 1 raw. I bought 1 in that like $80 range, and then they popped up above 100. And I didn't think they're going to stay that high, but they have. The last couple sales, people have been listing them. And very recently, I think 3 sold in December and January for over 100. So the price has been pretty firm on this one. Let me know your favorite player, your favorite card. Feel free to shout out any other ideas that you'd like to see from me. And that's what I have for today.